of bluesy standards type stuff live, and it sounded great. But I liked the way Ray Gerald's thing went, where I could go single coil or humbucker better than the S1 switch that was on the American Deluxe Tele, which is not really as usable. So I was using a similar thought process type pickup set. And then when I got these, they sounded a lot more like regular Tele single. They had more of that Roy Buchanan thing, and a better neck pickup sound. And I had the two voices, and they were totally quiet. And they just were the next logical step from what I was using before. The other stuff wasn't active, but it was the same methodology in terms of functionality. Does that make sense? Ergonomics? That's a big word. I didn't even know what I said. It sounded good though. Questions? Don't be afraid. It doesn't have to be on these pickups. It can be on anything. Music stuff in general. Do we have some? Yes, sir.
When was the last time you heard someone play it? Because when I see you play, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. So when was the last time you saw someone or heard someone that like so the music?
Well, it happens every day. I mean, I'll be on YouTube or Instagram or something and see some crazy stuff, and then I'll just steal it. as much as I can. And then it's not so puzzling anymore. But that's one of the things, you know, it gets to be fun when you get to the point where, because it was not always that way, trust me. But you know, once you survive your 40s, you know, when you get to the point where your ear and your hands are almost able to do anything you put your mind to if you just sit down and work it out. I mean, that's not to say that I can play everything, but if I want to learn something, I can learn it, which is awesome. So you never get bored. But there are, you know, there's certain people that have certain genres that I'm not as familiar with, where I'll see something like, what? And then, you know, but if there's something I really am astounded by and I want to learn it, I'll learn it. And everyone can. I mean, it's not like it's a unique thing. It's just, you know, you just got to put time in. I put a lot of time in. And I don't have hobbies. You know, it's like people are like, well, you know, like I don't hunt, I don't fish, I don't bowl, I don't play darts. You know what I mean? I procreate and I play guitar. The end. So. Yes, sir.
That Tele jack plate, same footprint?
Yes.
Two screws?
Yes, two screws here. I don't know. I've never, as I said, I haven't installed them, so I don't know the intricacies of it. But everyone I've talked to said it's a pretty easy.
It's a direct retrofit. Yeah.
It's a direct retrofit. Thank you, Ron. Ron and I are a good team. We also are bodyguards, so if anyone needs some security, we bring the thunder. Let me tell you what. Prashant will tell you. We were in Hollywood last night, and some people wanted to mess with me. Like, you know what? We're gonna bring the thunder. I don't even know what that means, but that's all we had to say. Yes, sir.
I was just curious about actual pickup height. Is it like, is there a recommendation? Is it basically like a standard single or a standard?
You know, that's a good question, because the Fishman people installed these pickups for me and I'd never messed with it. So, is there a recommended height?
There's really not. It's like a standard pickup. You know, you essentially just, you know, put it to what sounds good for your guitar.
The same sensitivity.
Yeah. Yeah. They're analog pickups. These are not, you know, digital or modeling or anything.
Right.
They're analog pickups. They're powered, you know, but the power just enables us to do things like make the hum go away.
Right.
So they're standard windings, they're aluminium or ceramic magnets. They're standard pickups.
Right.
But they're just...
They're magical.
Yeah.
Can you dig it? Questions, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to answer the questions, or ask the questions that need answering. Yes, sir.
I'll ask another question.
No problem.
You blend styles a lot, and like, what did you start playing guitar as? Like, style-wise?
Rock and blues stuff. I'm you know, my first band, well, I can still remember kind of the set list. Me and my buddies started taking lessons the summer of our 7th grade summer vacation, because we wanted to play our 8th grade graduation, because we were convinced that that was going to be the coup de grace with every girl that was, you know, went to Christ King middle school. So Didn't really work out, but me and one other guy managed to make it to May and played the gig, and we did Hendrix, we did Fire, I think we did Purple Haze, we did Communication Breakdown, Led Zeppelin, we did Jumpin' Jack Flash, we did the old Nazareth song, Now You're Messing with the Son of a Bitch. Remember that song? And then it just went from there. And so I got into the country stuff through listening to, right around that time, Eric Clapton came out with a record called Just One Night, and Albert Lee was on that record. And Clapton kind of gave him a long leash. And so he was playing up a storm, and I would hear this guy playing. I'm like, well, that's not the blues scale. What the hell is that? So then I started reading up on who Albert Lee was. Mark Knopfler was around that time, so I started getting into his. And he had, obviously, the way he played Sultans of Swing and other tunes, there was a little bit more going on in terms of harmony and being able to play over changes. And then I was playing in jazz band at school, so I was, starting to get into. I liked George Benson because it reminded me of Hendrix's playing on Still Rain, Still Dreaming, and Kenny Burrell, so I started to get a taste for that a little bit. I went to a jazz camp when I was a junior in high school, and the teacher there was actually not the stereotypical jazz Puritan. Listen to at a time. So is all those different things coming together. So my whole goal is like, well, with Clapton, with Cream, and with Jimmy Page and Zeppelin, is they put all these different styles together and they came up with their own version of stuff. And that's what I always wanted to do. It's like put all these different styles together in an original guitar voice as a lead instrument, and also in composing songs that it was reflective of all these different styles. And it's made me the thousandaire I am today. Hundreds of dollars.
I'm
Yes, sir.
curious, when you're playing with quality players, is there much of a difference between the guy I don't like your sound, or, are you all pretty much on the same wavelength?
In terms of guitar players?
Setting up your amp, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
Just the basic sound you're getting out of it.
like if I'm playing with other players, like in a gig situation or something. Well, everyone's a little different. A lot of guitar players are really fussy. If they're very particular, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. If guitar's action's not just quite right, or if amp's got to be a certain thing, this and that. That's one of the reasons why I've been able to maintain solvency, is that I just kind of like I find a way to make stuff work. You know what I mean by that? So, like, for instance, when I was doing the Fender thing back in the day, like, oh, we got this new digital amplifier, the Cybertwin. Well, most guitar players are like, I'm not gonna, it's got microchips in it and stuff. I'm not gonna use that thing. Are you kidding me? Because it doesn't fit into their narrative of what they think that they need to represent as a guitar player. I'm like, well, this is pretty cool because you can do like a 58 Bassman sound. You can put like blackface reverb in it, and the tape echo sounds I got in there are really cool. And you can put together the vibertone thing. I can have like a vibertone and a Bassman with reverb and all of this thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. And then I just made it work, and that my wife was able to quit her day job. So that was a good thing. So, but a lot of guys won't do that. So a lot of times you get in situations when you're playing with other guitar players, and I don't do it much anymore. I've put together like gigs with other well-known guys, and usually it goes well. But usually, musicians in general, people in general, are hard work. What are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? But it's not people. Not everyone is as malleable. You know what I'm saying? They're very particular. And a lot of people there's a lot of guys that are really good at one thing, and that's their thing, and they have to be represented as doing that thing, and if you take them out of that zone, they won't do it, and they don't want anyone to know that they can't do any of these other things, because they do that one thing and they want everyone to think that, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do in order to be able to buy frescoes for people, which is really my goal. Yes?
Would you take us out with one, and then we'll do a drawing for your pickups?
Oh, we're gonna give away some pickups?
We're gonna give away a seat of your pickups. So now, did everybody fill out one of the entry forms for the pickups? If you haven't, come on over, fill one out, and we'll come up and have Greg draw for the winner.
That sounds good, I like that. Yes, sir?
How's it going with your signature guitar project? And if you can tell us
The
more-
signature guitar or amp? The amp thing's on.
both things.
The guitar thing's not happening. I was gonna do a thing with a manufacturer who made me a prototype, guitar-wise, and it just didn't seem logical to me, business-wise. So I backed away from it. However, there will be versions of this Telecaster and other guitars available at some point in 2018. Let's just put it that way.
With Fender?
Yes, but with a particular store that I'm affiliated with. We really can't get into. But anyways, yeah, so this guitar will be available. The amplifier is on, the KOCH amplifier. I've got involved with a company who has my same last name, which was Marketing Gold. Because I'm gonna do some gold. And they're really, really good amps, for one. And then I came up with a recipe for what I thought would be a really cool variation on an amp, and it's absolutely stunning, so that's coming up next year as well. So, anyway, so I do a little tune. A lot of times when I'm doing, I just like to play a blues, and I'll make up a little melody on the spot, and a lot of times when I'm doing those videos online, when they enter Google, I'll start doing some different stuff, but that's what I'll do right now. And the key is good key. to a strange land of blues and G. Just it. We're gonna give away some pickups. What do you think about that? Yeah. How are we going to proceed?
John is gonna bring them up
John,
and have them draw
John,
them.
John. Everyone signed up? Well, all right. I forgot to mention this glorious new SA330 with the subwoofer. I gotta tell you, I like to call it the Polyp Rumbler 3000 because the low end thing in here, you turn it up and I'll tell you what, you'll be rattling Colin's 3 counties over. And that's important in this day and age. Right? Am I right, John? All right, let's see what we got. Someone put some adhesive on their entry. That's a natural. All right, here we go. What? Is this really a last name? This can't be real.
Say it. I wrote that, I think.
Are you Billy Dongpickle?
Yeah, dude, that's me!
You're kidding me!
I won! I wrote that.
Rashawn! How is that even possible?
Thank you. It was magical. Thank you.
Now you're going to be rocking.
I am. I have a telly to put those in.
Rashawn, or Billy Dongpickle.
That's right. I didn't think you were gonna pick these. I didn't want to put my invite in the card.
Wait, will the real Billy Dongpickle please stand up?
That's crazy.
You need to see an ID.
I felt That's my penmanship. I can.
All right, folks, I did bring some CDs along of the Unrepentant CD. The new CD will be out actually in February. But I do have some of the old CDs, and I'm just selling them for a simple $10 donation for the cause. That's cheap. That's
We
cheap.
do have some posters too, if anybody wants autographs.
I'll be glad to sign those as well. Come up and see me. Thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Instrumental Music. Awesome as usual.